A shelter from the elements needs to be constructed as soon as time and conditions permit. Materials to construct a shelter may be scarce. Natural formations can also shield survivors from the elements. These natural shelters can consist of overhanging ledges, fallen logs, or caves. Other forms of immediate shelter can include an emergency poncho, garbage bags, or a solar blanket. No matter what type of shelter is used, here are a few basic guidelines to remember. Location. Look for any possible hazards when selecting a site for shelter. Dead trees could lose their tops or limbs and come crashing down on the shelter. Look for the possibility of an avalanche or rock slide area. Because of the risk of flash floods, stay out of dry stream beds. If possible, place the shelter under a tree line to give added overhead protection from the elements. Material. Natural foliage, such as leaves, grass, and tree boughs, are there for the taking. Snow can also be used as material to build a shelter. Although it is very cold, it makes excellent insulation for existing shelters. Fuel source. Stay near the resources needed to maintain a fire. If there is too much distance between the shelter site and the resources, much needed energy will be expended just to maintain a fire. Water source. Being close to a water source is one primary consideration. Although it is wise to stay close to a water source, do not construct the shelter too close to these areas, as they are typically cooler and damper. Signaling. If possible, select a site that will allow a signal to be seen from all directions. As a general rule, if the site obscures your vision, rescuers won't see you. The effectiveness of any shelter lies in its insulation. As previously mentioned, the best insulation, if available, is snow. But if you have covered the shelter with snow, it is no longer an effective signal. Immediate needs for shelter insulation may outweigh visibility considerations. These factors need to be judged on a case-by-case basis. Once inside the shelter, body heat will begin to warm the shelter. Scraping down to bare earth will increase the inside temperature by about 12 degrees, even if it is sub-zero outside. By lighting a candle, it is possible to raise the temperature by another 4 degrees. Keep the shelter just big enough to accommodate you and your co-survivors. This will make the shelter easier to warm.